Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my channel Philosmos, where everything philosophical is discussed. Now, today's lesson is titled The Power of the Spoken Word. Now, since the beginning of time, since the progression of human evolution, we have looked for ways to be effective and precise with our communication. So, I can just imagine back in our Neanderthal times, uh, if somebody wanted to talk about a specific object, let's just say a spear, they would refer to it as, they wouldn't use words that we utilize today, of course. When we were Neanderthals, we would mostly grunt, moan, or point towards the object that we wanted somebody else in the tribe to pay attention to. So as we evolved, our communication evolved and we developed language. Now language is way more precise than grunts and moanings and just pointing your finger towards specific objects. Now with language, there are infinite synonyms and infinite arrays of words that we could utilize to explain or to define an object, a circumstance, or a particular state that we feel. So the essential purpose of words and language is not only communication, but to provide a structure for reality that we can furthermore engage in, so that our ideas can flourish in the world, so that our ideas can manifest in the world. But we cannot do that. We cannot manifest ideas. We cannot bring immaterial ideas into the physical world without language and communication. So when you're using the spoken word, when you are speaking things, when you are speaking your language, whatever language it is, it doesn't matter. When you speak, not only are you speaking to communicate to yourself or to somebody else, but you are in that moment molding and forming a structure of reality for yourself and other individuals if you're communicating with other people. Ludwig Wittgenstein explained this idea very poetically. He said, "The limits of my language mean the limits of my world." So if ever we truly want to understand the world, we must first understand the language. Because once we understand the language, then we can pry into the structures of our reality. For us to know reality, we must formulate language to describe it. And how we describe reality will then be our experience of it. Now, most human beings on a day-to-day, moment-to-moment basis are utilizing language to their disadvantage. Most people speak things that they will not later on desire in their experience. Most people utilize words to imprison themselves. Most people utilize words to restrict and limit their infinite potential. And in most cases, this is done unconsciously because the average person does not know the power of the spoken word. Most people use their words in a very flimsy manner. They utilize words without thinking, without contemplating, and without being deliberate. Now, you see this in most cases when somebody says, I'm broke right now, or I'm so upset right now, or I'm frustrated. I cannot do this. I give up. I feel ugly. I feel unwanted. I feel lonely. Life is difficult. These are words that we are using that do not serve us. but we use them because it is so common. It is such a natural inclination to speak of things that we don't want. That is one of the human conditions. That is one of our greatest dilemmas, one of our biggest obstacles in bringing heaven down to earth, is this inability that most of us have to observe how powerful the spoken word is, just how powerful the words that we utilize are. Most of us have no clue that every time we utter words, we are creating our reality. We are constructing an experience for ourselves in the present moment and in the future. And because we don't observe just how powerful our words are, then we tend to create our experience from an unconscious level. And unfortunately, the unconscious behavior that most human beings demonstrate is speaking of things they do not want to see happen. We speak of experiences that we don't want to happen. We speak about things we don't like about ourselves. We speak about things we don't like about our jobs. We speak about things that we don't like about our financial position. We speak about things we don't like about other people. So there's this gravitational pull that most human beings have in speaking about things that we do not desire. The words that you use are not only registered by your mind, your conscious surface mind, but they're registered by your deeper mind, the subconscious mind that is interconnected with the fabric of the universe. And when you speak words that do not empower you, when you speak words that place you in a position that is not desirable, you inevitably create that experience. So see it as the universe, God, the divine energy, is always listening, not only to the spoken word that is heard by the physical ears, but the inner spoken word that you speak to yourself. Now that you need to bring more consciousness and awareness to, because that is more potent than the words that you speak outwardly. The words that you speak outwardly are sometimes not an accurate depiction of the words that you speak inwardly. You may tell people all day long how confident you are, how assertive you are, how much of a good person that you are. But if your inner dialogue contradicts it, then no matter how many times you say it, it will never be true. You will never feel it to be true, and other people will never feel it to be true as well. They may believe it initially, but trust that within the course of time, you will reveal your true self. And your true self are the words that you use inwardly to describe who you are. So if you're saying, I am confident, I'm assertive, but inwardly you are saying that you're insecure, you're unworthy, you're undeserving, you cannot do this or you cannot do that, then it doesn't matter what you say outwardly. It doesn't matter what other people hear. Your experience will always be continuous with the words that you're speaking inwardly and outwardly as well. But the potency lies inwardly because that births the words that you use outwardly. So if you want to gain more control over your experience, if you want to gain more control of your life, gain control of the words that you utter, Be more conscious, be more aware, be more attentive to the words that you use. Do not allow your tongue to slip with words that depict a reality that you do not want to dwell in. As the philosopher Zeno said, better to trip with the feet than with the tongue. So whenever misfortune befalls you, whenever you experience an unfavorable circumstance, get back to your position of power. And your position of power lies in the words that you use to describe your condition. If you are broke, don't make the statement, I am broke or I am poor. Rather say, I'm an empty vessel for abundance. See, now you're being creative with your words. Now you're being deliberate with your words. And now you're depicting a reality that not only makes you feel good, but places you in control. So the frame that you see reality in, the frame that you see your experiences in, is constructed by the words that you use to depict it. So the most important question you can ask yourself from this point on is, am I going to speak words of life, words of abundance, words of love, words of kindness? Or am I going to speak words of death, words of misery, words of suffering? But the more consciousness and awareness you bring to your words, the more responsible you will be, and the more you'll create from a position of power. And then you'll realize just how powerful the spoken word is. So thank you very much, guys, for listening to this. Please like if you like this video. Please share if you found this content valuable. Please comment if you'd like to say something. And to end it off, as I always end it off, for those who seek, seek no more. For in the present, we find it all. Thank you very much, guys.